Temperatures, and you see what happens. It quickly becomes a Cat 4 just north of the eastern Caribbean. Looks like it avoids most of the islands, but watching it closely for Bermuda by early next week. Closer to us here. We, of course, will have plenty of time because that's by the following weekend, and we'll be covering it the whole time. Your local weather now in 30 seconds. Stormy morning in Chicago. We've got to break up all that heat, and it comes with a really intentional cold front that's dropped temperatures in South Dakota yesterday. One place, 3 hours, it dropped 20 degrees. So big changes coming with that cold front sweeping all the way down to Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama. You've got damaging winds as your main threat today. We'll be keeping an eye on that through the evening. Coming up, Lara is at the U.S. Open with a special guest. Plus, Kate and Charlie Gibson are taking us to a bookstore with a mission that goes well beyond just selling books. And there's a huge crowd here in Times Square for one of the world's biggest girl groups right now. Your local news and weather, they're next.
Morning again, Ginger.
Morning to you, Michael. Schools from Philadelphia to New Jersey are dismissing early because it's that hot. And we've had such an easy, it's well above 100. Phoenix builds back to the 110s plus. And we just got this new information from the European agency that watches the planet's temperature, jules itself with. It'll become a Cat 4. Looks like it stays north of the eastern Caribbean through the weekend, but we'll be watching it turn toward Bermuda. And Rebecca, by next week, we'll talk a lot about where that high pressure is and where this big trough is, because that's going to indicate how close it gets to the United States.
Wow, Ginger, and that heat is with this. You have 70 million more credit cards than pre-pandemic. Between a really good mortgage rate and a really bad mortgage rate, it's the difference between a decent auto loan and a not so great auto loan. So it has a big ripple effect on your life as well. If people are about to default, I love this advice you have because I think it's so important. Pick up the phone.
Definitely, yes.
Very useful advice as always, Jennifer. Great to have you with us.
Thank you.
And now let's head over to Ginger. Hey, Ginge.
Hey, Rebecca. Philadelphia should have their hottest temperature of the year. And here we are in September. Today should get to 97. So a lot of daily records are going to be broken, but we are going to see this all start to break apart as the cold front gets through here by Sunday. I think it'll still be quite muggy Friday into Saturday. Look at Boston dropping to 80. New York City gets down to 81 after what should be our first official heat wave of the season, which is so late. And then much above normal as we look for September temperatures overall, pretty much everywhere east of the Rockies. Let's get a check a little closer to home. We've got top 5 warmest and top 5 coolest summers on record, June, July, and August. So the rankings are in. The red dots represent the warmest, top 5, and the blue, the coolest. So it represents the summer we've had. But you know we are now quite warm, and the oceans have a lot to do also with keeping it warm. Unprecedented levels continue. August stayed right up there, right, far above average. That's the sea surface temperature. We will see cooling here in the Northeast by this weekend. Let's go ahead and get a check a little closer to home.